Yeah, Bruce, it seems like there's just been a handful of games where your guys have embraced, if you will, an inside-out philosophy. Does having the success they had on Saturday kind of reinforce that they can score with driving to the hoop and getting baskets inside and then driving and kicking?
Yeah, I think it's something we've tried to emphasize to them for the whole year. Some of it is just getting to know each other, the continuity of it, but and then we did a good job of, we had some post feeds, but we had a lot where we got in the paint, and we were able to make the nice dish offs and the reads off of it. And then actually got some transition layups too, which we haven't got many of those in recent the recent games. So I hope it's something that they continue. The Oklahoma State game, our big guys were 9 for 14. Obviously the Kansas game, we didn't get it in enough, and some of it's how people guard too. That's TCU guards one way. It's the unique and challenging part of our league. Everyone guards a little different. Now as a player and as a staff, can we get them to understand, here's how we can attack them and here's what we can look for? And that's the goal against Oklahoma. That was yesterday. What we watched was how we can, when we had success and when we've had success in the past and what other teams have done this year, here's what we need to look for. Now can we go out and execute that?
Can you reflect on the leadership that Mike McGrill has shown throughout the season?
I think more than anything, the perseverance, and it's you got to give him a lot of credit. I've talked about it. He was the first one to come back. He's wanted his senior year to be special. Obviously we've had our struggles, and but he's persevered, and it's gone a long way, and he was rewarded with after a really tough outing for him against Kansas and for all of us, to come back and do that and have a really, really, really positive game, 16, 9, 5, big passes, and he defended. I know Selton deserves a lot of credit. Our team deserves a lot of credit for our defense on what we did against TCU, holding them to the lows of the season. But Mike did a nice job on Miles also. So he good complete game, persevered. Happy for him, and hopefully again I text them right before the game, and I just said, relax, enjoy, and don't force the issue. Let the game come, and for the most part he did that. So hopefully he'll continue that as we got this last couple of weeks of the season.
And does Selton Miguel have the kind of repeatable release that'll produce good results in perimeter shooting?
Yeah, Selton, if you look, he shot, I think, 42 last year from 3, and obviously it's a little further back. The defense, your time to get the shot off is different. You're going against better athletes that are better prepared, but he can shoot the ball, and some of it's his footwork, some of it's being ready to shoot. Again, that in high school you're bigger, stronger, you're getting more open looks, your rhythm, your confidence. And now in college, it's a split decision. You got less than a second. Am I shooting it? Am I ready to shoot? And I still, that one corner, he had the game winner against way back against Omaha, and then he had a big one here the other night. So he can do that. I think the thing, if you watch it now, and I was thinking about it the other night, when he just catches and shoots it, and I keep telling him he's fine, but when I always say he fiddles with the ball, he spins it, he doesn't have his hands, feet right all the time. That's when he doesn't have that rhythm, and he just caught that thing and shot it. There was no hesitation. But I think I've emphasized to him, I've emphasized all of them, have your mindset right, do what you do. And, he guarded the heck out of a really good player for 33 minutes. And then guess what happens at the end? He scores 7 points down the stretch. And so good things happen if your mind's in the right spot.
Thank you, Bruce.
Next question to Kellis Robinette.
Hey, Bruce, with Oklahoma, what's been the key to their defensive turnaround? I mean, we've always known they're good at offense. Seems like this year they're actually getting out and stopping people. What's different there?
Well, Lon, I've been, going against him a long time. Obviously, he's at the K-State and then Illinois. We had a chance to go against him. And even, I think we might even played him at Florida once. But, he way back, he was a real, I would say, more deliberate, coach and defensive minded, and they were tough and played a little, I guess, more conservative. And then it seems like at Oklahoma, they've been a little more free flowing, a lot of switching on defense. Coach Molinari joined the staff, obviously, was here at K-State, and Lon's roommate and good friend for many years. And Mo's always been a tough, hard-nosed defensive coach. I know I've talked to him about it. I think he's maybe instilled some of his philosophies or brought his to, change up a little bit. They are much tougher as a team, but to me, it's also the guys in the program. And the two additions, Harkless, I think it's amazing how tough he is. And he's become their tough guy, their defender. Gibson has been, not only can he shoot it, but he seems to defend pretty well. And then the big fella gives them a whole nother dynamic with the, defending the hoop. So and they're guarding one-on-one pretty well too, which is, not an easy thing to do, especially in this league against the good guards. But I think a little bit of combination of the personnel, maybe a little change in philosophy, and then definitely the toughness is added to their good defense.
And defense has been your emphasis lately too. At what point did you kind of notice the guys catching on and starting to get stops the way you liked?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I can't remember which game it was, but we had kind of showed them some stuff from Dean and Barry's group, and this is how you defend. This is what you can do. It might have been Texas Tech, and we did it. I don't want to say we totally mimicked it, but we definitely, I think, seeing how hard you have to play at the rotations, how you can't take plays off. I think to our coach's credit, I think Coach Lowry was the one that time thought about it, and they kind of bought in. So each game we've kind of been showing them, hey, here's what, this is how we did it against, each team. And I think just seeing how those guys play and that intensity, I think has helped. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. You're always looking for things. And then just understanding it's experience, guys. I mean, we didn't, defense is pride, it's habits, it's and then it's, concepts. And we didn't have much time for habits, and we didn't have much, they've had to learn the concepts on the run. And over the course of the experience, they've gotten a little better with that. And now, we kind of challenged Selton. Coach Southwell did a good job challenging Selton and Mike to, be stoppers for us. And it always helps when you have a couple guys, that take that challenge on. The other thing, our big guys are doing a better job in the ball screens, getting to the line, understanding, where they got to go. I think, now that Casey's had a few weeks under his belt, and feels a little more confident about his leg. Now you got, probably a little better rotation. You can keep Davion a little more fresh, and that helps too in the ball screen defense, because it's you guys, everyone watches the guards, but a lot of times your defense is the other people, and especially in ball screens, those big guys they're really important, but probably get no credit for it.
Yeah. And last one for me, whenever it comes time for you and Mike to sit down and talk about, whether he wants to come back for next year or you're not, what'll that look like? What's the plan there?
I mean, I've talked to him. He was the first person, I think I mentioned to you guys, when I found out from the NCAA, I called him and his dad. I've always felt awful, that we pulled him out of red shirt, and the circumstance where Cardi just all of a sudden really played well, and then Mike did get a lot of minutes, although he was really important in our run through the tournament. But I felt like he missed a lot of his freshman year, and I've told him, I always say God has a path for you, and now you have this opportunity to get this freshman year back, and so I hope you come back. I talked to him the other day because we are honoring him. The school has made a decision. They did with football to honor all the seniors. Just in case guys decide something happens. So at least they are honored. And I said, we're honoring you not because, we want you to leave because you deserve it. But we hope you can come back and we'll find another jersey to give you next year if that's possible.
Wow. Two senior days. That'd be something. Thanks, Bruce.
Yep.
Next question to Ryan Black.
Hey, Bruce, can you hear me okay? I'm not in a great service area, unfortunately.
Yes, we can hear you.
I was going to ask, with Selton specifically, is there any guy who you've had that he kind of reminds you of or compares him to? Or is there a guy you've told him, hey, this is who you should kind of model your game after? Or is he kind of his own unique guy?
Well, he is his own unique guy, but I really, a lot of similarities to Barry. And, one of the reasons we got Selton here is because of Barry. And, Coach Fraser started going down the West Oaks. I started going down the West Oaks before when Selton was young, actually. And we did some Florida recruiting. Kenny, the coach there, who also coaches the AAU team, he knew Barry and his family. He, loved Barry's progress, what he made, the progress he made here in the program. And, so that's, part of the comparison, but obviously just a stubborn guy that, as a freshman, Barry was very stubborn. I told the story many times, who's going to be our defensive stopper? And Barry kept raising his hands and I kept telling him to put his hand down. I wanted, but I think Selton has that same stubbornness. I wish he would have bought in a little earlier to being a stopper. We felt all along he's been a really good one-on-one defender. And, but again, some of that's, him learning in the concepts and that. And if you remember, Barry had his struggles offensively as a freshman. And then he put his time into the, in the gym that took him to obviously possibly having his jersey put up in the rafters here at that type of level. So, I hope Selton has that same desire and stubbornness to really work at it and put the time in and improve his game like Barry did. But there's some similarity there. There's no doubt. But he is unique. He's got that big, strong body that I tease him all the time about it. But stretching, all those things he never even thought of before are really important for him and his progress.
Okay, any other questions before I let Coach go? Okay, thank you guys, appreciate it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan. Ryan, are you there?
Oh,
Ryan,
yes.
are you there?
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
can you hear me, Tom? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Tom?
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that it muted on me. I apologize. I was just going to ask Bruce, if you're still there, just that I know when he had the surgery, you said it was an outside shot, but is there any chance Monty comes back before the end of the season, or is he completely done?
No, he's done. He actually talked or communicated with him over the weekend. He has started therapy. Probably will be back here on campus at that first week of March. I think more that weekend of the end of that, and hopefully back to making some progress basketball. Why, get back on the court and that. They did the surgery and then the first 3 weeks of therapy down there. And now, with school being basically all Zoom for him, and now come back to campus for that. So.
Bruce, is there just any worry with him that, with 2 years in a row having this season ending kind of surgeries, that you just might have to deal with injuries with him his whole time here, unfortunately?
Well, I think that the surgery has hopefully will, get, the whole goal was to get rid of the pain. And, he had guys have patellar tendon problems, the jumper's knee, he's not the first one. This is, when it's been there as far back as I can remember. And, there's more severe cases. And hopefully it's a right decision, right surgery. And, he can come back and be pain-free and make some progress.
Last thing for me, Bruce, is your background a coincidence, or is that a purposeful, with the Big 12, championship game that you guys won was against Oklahoma there a couple of years ago? Is that purposely done?
No, we have Zoom recruiting calls, so I just kind of rotate depending who we were talking to. And, I just got different ones up there, and I just didn't get a chance to change this one, I think. So from last week.
All right.
But it was a nice celebration. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, we'll do one last question to Grant Flanders.
Hey, Coach. When do you think Dejuan Gordon will get inserted back into the starting lineup, or do you think you'll still have him come off the bench to finish?
Yeah, Dejuan, credit to him. He came back and played against Kansas with 2 days of practice. We probably overdid the minutes. He still has a lot of soreness. He hasn't, he's done a little bit of practice, more shooting, listening. So it's tough. It's really tough right now, but we do need him. And I really appreciate, he's been gutsy, shown some toughness, to even play, because there's some guys that wouldn't have played, so, again, I appreciate him and what he's, that he's been able to, want to be part of it and helped us. Even the other day, 2 big free throws, he has 6 on the play hard chart. That was a team win. There were some guys that stood out, but Luke comes in. Luke has 4 on the play hard and a handful of minutes, takes the ball off Mimhart. And, so that Carlton goes in a few minutes. So if we're going to have success, we need everybody playing their role. And, I feel for Dejuan because 2 injuries during the year, and this one was definitely a little more tragic than the first one. And so you've had both feet issues, but he still, he wants to play. I put him in. I said, "We'll run the lob. Are you ready to go for a dunk?" And he said, "I'm ready, Coach." So, that's just him. He's got that toughness, and he wants to get after it. And just hope he can get some of the soreness out here. We got to be careful in practice, and then just so he can have some good minutes in these games down the stretch.
Are you worried that Antonio is, it seemed like it came out like his coming out party happened with Dejuan out of the lineup, but now that he's back, he did a good job of not shooting too much. But what does Antonio have to do to still be a good contributor with Dejuan still in the lineup?
Well, I think you have guys that everyone plays their role, and there's every team's different that we play. The opponents, they guard differently. Some help off the 4, some, but he's just got his thing he's been successful. I told our guys after he had 15 and 14 in that Oklahoma State game, when we arrived back, I said, he did that without one play being run to him. And that's, you know, a lot of times our guy, you know, you don't run a play for me, coach. Well, you are there. It's part of it. When you're in a ball screen, it's not for you. It's for everyone else. And now everyone's got to play off of that. And Tone's really picked up that niche, you know, and you guys mentioned that he talked about Rodman, you know, figuring that out and being successful. You know, I shot with him yesterday for 40 minutes and, you know, we all want to make shots and, you know, hopefully he can find ways to get some openings, but if he keeps doing all that other stuff, he can be a really valuable member for our team. Plus he, you know, I think what I mentioned, the big guys both played about 20 the other day, gave us a little bit of freshness. You know, if we can keep guys around 32 or so, I think it always helps, especially in the defense as you get into the stretch run of the game, that, you know, we're able to get some stops in close games.